Yo, Elliot, I'm currently in a season of chopping wood and carrying water. I'm building my brand and working on improvements and consistency as an artist. I've actually read In a Pit with a Lion, one of the book recommendations, and it was extremely helpful with taking the initiative to fish for clients and seeing the opportunity in a lot of situations where the old me would have found discomforting or just difficult enough not to bother. But right now, I'm not finding difficulties or challenges in my life, and it's a bit concerning. I'm used to the big next move and extreme variables, but the water is still and a bit boring. I want to start an online business next, selling art prints and merch, and I'm only at the drawing board. My question is it okay to be in this still and boring state? How would you approach starting an online business for artwork? So I'm not totally clear on the question, because if you're starting a new business for the artwork, how could you be still and boring? So I'm gonna I wanna work around this a little bit. I wanna work with what I got here. So you say that you're currently in the season of chopping wood and carrying water. And so that basically means you're just doing what's in front of you. You're doing what needs to get done. You're getting up every single day and you're working, right? It doesn't mean that you have grandiose plans. It doesn't mean that there's a big looming adventure on the horizon. And it means more than anything that you're not distracted, right? A man who's chopping wood and carrying water, where that comes from is from an old Zen saying that one of my teachers told me. He said that, you know, a young man comes to his student comes to his master, and he says, "Master, what happens after enlightenment, right? You know, what happens to your whole life after you reach the pinnacle of all of our meditation?" And he tells him, "Chop wood and carry water," which means there are certain things in life that just need to be done. No matter who you are, no matter where you're at, no matter what the situation is, I'm going to be taking out the garbage, right? I take out the trash, right? It's just something that no matter how much money I make, you know, no matter how famous I get, like there's certain things that just need to be done, and you're doing that. That's the greatest revelation, is that no matter what, you're always going to be working. You're always going to be doing what's in front of you. The only time you stop is when you die. This is another gem from Edmund, my dad. He says, every day you get up and you just do what's in front of you. And if you just do that, you'll be all right. So right off the bat, you're in the right state of mind, right? You're in a season of chopping wood, carrying water. I mean, just doing what you got to do. You say also, I'm building my brand and working on improvements and consistency as an artist. And that's a part of your work. Building your brand and working on improvements and consistency is artwork. Building a brand is art. It's a form of art, right? You have to be sort of scientific in that there are certain parameters that need to be met and focused on, but you're also very creative in self-expression, right? So you're doing creative work, you're doing artistry work, you're doing your chopping of wood and carrying water, right? And so you also go on to say, right now, as a result, I'm not finding difficulties or challenges in my life, and it's a bit concerning. Now, this is where we throw ourselves off. I know I've sabotaged myself because I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to let myself be. I didn't know the value of chopping wood and carrying water because I was always in a state of fear. So I talk sometimes to you guys about how in my early 20s, I was so focused on building my business, working with my wife to build a family, and I was working my face off. I was working hard. I was putting in time. I was chopping wood and carrying water day and night, right? But the sentiment from which I was proceeding was fear, right? And I'm not going to say that it's all good or it's all bad, but you got to recognize when you're operating out of fear, you're not taking action. You're usually steeped in a lot of activity, because the minute the activity stops, the fear creeps up. And this is a bad habit. This is an old habit that I even experience sometimes now. But now I'm sort of privy to it, so I have guards against it. I realize, okay, I notice I'm getting bored, and because things are going well, right? Like you said, things are going well, and I have no problems, so I start to freak out. And so I used to, when I would get into that situation, I would create fucking problems. I would create problems. There's no problem. Right now in my life, right now, I'm chopping wood and carrying water, right? Making, like, a lot of my eggs are in this basket with you guys, right? And I enjoy doing it, but it's fairly monotonous. I have no big projects that I'm working on. I have no big looming thing on the horizon as far as business is concerned. And an old me would have been like, well, that means I need to create something. That means I need to go do something. It means I need to fix something. But really, it means I need to go create problems because I'm getting bored. And we got to ward against that because it is the epitome of effeminacy. Not being able to just be, not being able to just wake up, do your work, chop wood, and carry water without being turned topsy-turvy because we're having all these feelings is so damn important. So what I've discovered and what I often say is that you've got to embrace the boredom. Allow yourself to be bored. You say, the water is still and it's a bit boring. That is your challenge. Let me put it this way. Let me pose a challenge to you so it won't be boring. The challenge is to be okay with the boredom. This is a crazy thing, right? This is a crazy thing because you're actively allowing yourself to be okay with the boredom. So it's not passive. It's very active being. With my dog, right? I got 2 dogs, Malinois. And so these dogs, they're working dogs. They use them for security. They use them for the military, the police. These are very active dogs and they want to work. They want to do stuff. My dog could, if I could just throw the ball to him all day, every day, he would just run, catch the ball, and bring it back. He wants to be active. But what my trainer has taught me is that by making him sit still, he's working. And so when I take my dog and I put him up on that barrel and I say seats, he's actively not doing anything. It's a challenge for him to sit there. So I watch him and he'll start to get bored and then he'll want to gallop off and I say, "Fooey that, get over here, hup, seats." And I make him seats again because it's hard for him to sit there. And in a way, we're like that dog. In that, like, it's hard for us not to create problems. It's hard for us not to look for something to do. It's hard. It's active. It's an activity. It's a challenge to allow yourself to be. So that is really your challenge right now. Your challenge is to allow yourself to be. And you go on and you finally say that, is it okay to be still in this boring state? Yes. Not only is it good, but it's nourishing. It's teaching you something. It's very good. It's very good that you're bored. Embrace the boredom. And then you say, how do you go about approaching a new online business for artwork? Now, I'm not exactly sure because it sounds like that's what you're doing. And it really depends on these 3 things. And I'm going to leave you with this because it's kind of like an off to the side. It's like a different question. But this is my default answer to anybody who's building an online business or any business at all. Because business only exists with revenue. And revenue only comes in with customers. And customers only come in with marketing. Marketing and sales is the lifeblood of your business. And the foundation of your marketing is and will always be based on these 3 things. Who is your market? Meaning, you making art, but what does that mean? Who is this art for? Are you making art for everybody? Or are you making art for Black people? Are you making art for revolutionaries? Are you making art for stay-at-home moms? Are you making art for men? You see what I'm saying? Or there's a particular type of person that's going to be attracted to the art that you're making, right? And so you have to be that rational about it. And artists don't like that. I get it. Artists want to I just want to make whatever I make. I want to express myself. Well, that's okay, but don't treat it like a business. I just want to make the art that I'm inspired to make. Well, that's okay. You can do that, but don't call it a non-job. Don't call it business. But if it's a business and you plan on selling it, and we've had some men here in this program that have sold pieces of art for thousands of dollars, following the advice that I'm giving you right now. That you know who your art is made for, and so that's market. Message is number 2, media is number 3. What is your message to these people? For example, my market is mostly young men. right? Mean age, 24. I can nail it down that tight. What is my message? We're making men strong again, right? So I know my market, I know my message, I'm making men strong again. Media is the third one. And so what I use to get to as a form of media, YouTube, Instagram. Those are my two main forms of media. Instagram is mostly where I introduce people to my offer, right? Market, I know who I'm talking to. I know you. That's why you here, because I know you, and you know me. And we talk in the same language. I know the message because I know you, because I know me. I know what we want. I know what we want to hear. I know what we want to do. I know what we're about, so I could craft the message around it. Media. And media is the third, and it's the last. But most people like to think of media first. Oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. But what's your market? What's your message? Right? And so these are all things that I want you to consider. And as you go through the course and you read my non-job material, you'll get a little bit more instruction on how to really nail that down, dude. So I hope that helps. Done. Yo, it's your bro, Elliot. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you ought to know that it was a clip from one of my most recent King Transformation classes with my students, where, among other things, we get together about 4 or 5 hours a week and we speak on things as it relates to becoming kings in our lives in fitness, business, and with women. If that sounds like you and you want to join a like-minded group of men who are growing stronger every day, in every way in this degenerate age, then it's real simple. Just follow me on Instagram and then DM me the word King, K-I-N-G, and then me and my team will get back to the details to see if you qualify. I really hope to see you at the next meeting. Done.